All right. This is Brian J signing on, and I'm talking about. I'm continuing to talk about Valentina Shevchenko and her calling out Nico Montano to fight in Chicago on June 9th at UFC 225 at flyweight, which is 125 pounds. And Valentina Shevchenko wants to fight Nico Montano for the flyweight belt, and Valentina has earned it. She has one of the best records, best resumes in the UFC for women's MMA. She dominated. She clearly beat Sarah Kaufman. I mean, she didn't really dominate her, but Valentina clearly beat Sarah Kaufman. She gave 2 taxing fights to Amanda Nunes, and even though she lost both of those fights, she gave a good accounting of herself. And many people, maybe most people, especially on Twitter, felt that Valentina Shevchenko had beaten Amanda Nunes in the rematch and won 3 rounds. I gave Valentina 3 rounds the last time I saw the fight, so I think she won the fight. But, Valentina, also dominated Holly Holm. Valentina is probably the first fighter to completely dominate Holly Holm because Miesha Tate was losing the fight against Holly before Miesha managed to submit Holly with a choke in the 5th round. But Valentina dominated Holly Holm on the feet. She's the first fighter to completely dominate Holly with her Muay Thai and on stand-up with her striking and her kicks and her counter right hooks, her counter striking. And Valentina also submitted Juliana Pena on the ground, and it was Pena who was supposed to be a grappling specialist. But Valentina submitted her with an armbar. And Valentina, she lost to Nunes, but she came very close to winning, and then she came back and had a dominant victory in her flyweight debut. And Valentina's showing the top 10 list here. Yeah, when Valentina became number 1, everybody else in the top 15 had to move down a spot. I think even a few fighters had to leave the top 15. Like Jillian Robertson. I don't know if Jillian Robertson is signed to the UFC, but she's not. I don't see Jillian Robertson in the top 15 at all. But you have Liz Carmouche, she moved down a spot. Alexis Davis moved down from number 3 to number 4. Lauren Murphy's down to number 3, and Sijara Eubanks is down to number 2. And Sijara Eubanks was supposed to fight Nico Montano back in December, but she couldn't make the weight. She came in at 132 pounds and had kidney failure, so she had to go to the hospital. But Valentina, I think she's going to dominate Nico Montano. But I think I love Nico. I'm a big fan of Nico. She's capable of winning. She certainly has a lot of skills, and she's a complete MMA fighter. But Valentina is most likely going to win. She's most likely going to win the fight. And I think Valentina could dominate Lauren Murphy because Lauren Murphy is not that great of a fighter. Like, she has a good skill set, but I don't know. I just don't see her really competing against Valentina's striking and grappling. Valentina's judo, her ground game, and her counter-striking is the best in the business. It's the best in women's MMA, next to Chris Cyborg. But Valentina, I think she could beat Sijara Eubanks, even though Sijara is very physically gifted. She's very athletic, and she has a great fighting IQ. She's very intelligent in the octagon. I think Valentina would dominate Roxanne Modafferi. She would dominate Alexis Davis. She would dominate Barb Honchak. Maybe. I mean, Barb is a great MMA fighter. Her striking isn't really on the level of Valentina. So I also think Valentina is faster with her hands and her feet than Barb. And I think Valentina could beat Liz Carmouche. I would love for Valentina to avenge her first loss against Liz Carmouche and then beat Alexis Davis and then try to get a 3rd fight against Amanda Nunes. But if Amanda Nunes moves up to featherweight and retires after fighting Chris Cyborg, I think I could see Nunes, if Nunes beats Chris Cyborg, she might stay at featherweight and fight Megan Anderson and then retire. Or Nunes could lose to Chris Cyborg, go back down the bantamweight and fight Raquel Pennington or whoever else, and then retire. Because I think Amanda's going to retire by 2019 or 2020, and by then the bantamweight title will be vacant. And if Valentina is the flyweight champion, she can move up to bantamweight and fight whoever at bantamweight to become the bantamweight champion. And bantamweight division is a terrible division. The bantamweight division for women's MMA in the UFC is one of the worst divisions in the UFC, next to light heavyweight and heavyweight, and probably those are really the 3 bad divisions. Those are the only 3 bad divisions in the UFC. All the other divisions are really good, and I think women's flyweight is going to become a really great division within the next year because a lot of the best fighters at strawweight are going to move up to 125, and some of the best fighters that are too small for bantamweight are going to move down to flyweight, and on average, a lot of women can make 125 anyway. Like, the average woman in America could probably make 125, maybe. So, yeah, Valentina Shevchenko, she's a stud. She's a beast. She's a great fighter, and she's calling out Nico Montano. So, Nico, Valentina is coming for you. You got to step up. You either step up or you get stripped, because Valentina's coming for that title, and I think she's going to walk through anybody to get that title. So, yeah, mad props to Valentina Shevchenko. This is Brian J. signing off for now.